The Netherlands is becoming a dystopia? That just can't be true. I'm sorry, but the Netherlands is like number 5 happiest country on earth. A dystopia? Is it drugs?
On December 12th, 2025, a report was released.
You need a little misery? It's so funny you say that because I saw it was a thing of like different expats to different countries talking about their experience. And in the Netherlands, they said, yeah, the country's great, but it is really boring. Like I moved here because I wanted like a stability and quality of life, but then I got here and it was like, once I got it, I realized it was like nothing's going on. It was like really, it's just boring. You need something going on. It's just dull, slow living.
The CEO was asked to research the Dutch economy and find out how its future is looking. And his answer was, it's not looking too hot.
I am Swedish and I hate Dutch people.
2024.
All right, well, they have an enemy to the north then. I guess that's part of the problem, is they've got enemies all around.
The former president of the European Central Bank is presenting a report on European competitiveness.
We've lost our main supplier of cheap energy, Russia.
American tech companies took over the world while Europe became dependent on them.
There will be 2 million workers disappearing from the labor market every year.
Aging?
Money isn't everything, until it is. Countries go broke gradually, and then all at once. Due to an aging population, European spending on pensions and healthcare is set to explode. With Russia on its doorstep, there's also going to be more spending on defense.
It's not unique to Europe, but these are big problems that are facing a lot of countries. I will say, like, I think the thing that's hitting Europe the most is all of their manufacturing exports are getting outcompeted by China. Like, I just think, like, especially the big powerhouses like Germany, like just in pharma, in trains, in vehicles, in energy, and energy, I guess. They're importing a lot of energy. Like, these are the things I think are the scariest part if you're looking at just Europe. I talk about American problems every day, so we can talk about Europe for a bit. I think they're just getting kind of squoze.
If you have growth, future taxes can keep pace with future spending. But Dutch and European growth is declining.
You know who's killing it in Europe, though? At least on growth, is Poland. I was talking with a European guy, actually, at my table at the finance conference, and he was telling me about Polish growth rates are crazy. In fact, I was also researching stuff about the games industry, and like, there's just these massive games layoffs in California and in Montreal, traditional gaming superpowers, these two areas, and like, there's a huge growth in Poland. Tons of the games industry is moving to Poland. A lot of work is being outsourced to Poland, and Switzerland is pissed. Well, that's another thing. The guy talked about, the guy was Swiss. He's like, it was a problem because here's the thing is right now, all the money is flooding into Swiss currency because it's stable. So everyone's buying Swiss franc. But when the Swiss currency gets that much stronger, it makes your exports horribly uncompetitive. When your currency is strong, your exports get weaker. And so like, it's like difficult to build an exporting factory in Switzerland or whatever. So you go outsource it to Poland because it's cheaper there. So there's like weird knock-on effects.
The Dutch Minister of Economic Affairs asked Peter Vennick to come up with a similar report, specifically focusing on the Netherlands. For years, he ran ASML, a Dutch company that manufactures the world's best chip-making machines.
Like again, like there's like zero risk for ASML from the American side. The risk on the American side is that Donald Trump is crazy. He might invade Greenland or break up NATO or whatever, like, or tariff. That's the risk on the American side. But there's not a risk of like ASML getting replaced. It's just part of that supply chain. They're going to use it. But I think there is a risk for all of these of a Chinese competitor just like if China ever cracked what ASML has, they're not really close right now, to be honest, but they're working on it. If they cracked it, it would be overnight a wipeout of like a massive part of the Dutch economy. It would be crazy because they would do it cheaper.
But the Netherlands is also in a strange position. Its public finances are pretty solid. It's well connected to global markets.
What is Netherlands debt to GDP? Netherlands debt to GDP. Oh my God, they're incredible. They're only 40%. That's like one of the best in the world. They're chilling. They could run it hot if they wanted to. If they needed to get out of a slump. Damn it, they're down from 2020. Their debt is down from 2020? That's so rare from any country. Wait, why are they, how did they have this? Does Netherlands have a debt break? They do, okay, I knew it. That's what we need, we need a debt break, dude. Was it a debt break? No, break like a car brake, B-R-A-K-E. It's like a rule that caps the amount of debt you can take on, and you need like a massive supermajority to change it or extend it. Yeah, it's like a debt ceiling we have here, but not a joke. Not a joke, like a serious one. And you can't get around it very easily. Because right now, there's just no incentive for anybody to make a hard choice ever.
Unlike France, Germany, or the US, it's always been shaped by one unique constraint. It doesn't have enough land. Half the country is farmland.
Okay.
It's one of the most densely populated countries in the world.
I know this. The Netherlands has they have insane greenhouse technology. They like make such a massive percentage of agricultural exports for their size. It's absurd. It's like America, #1 exporter in like everything, and then Netherlands #2, and things like tomatoes and stuff. And it's like they've crammed so much into such a small space.
Because of its density, the Dutch power grid is also filled to the brink. Even when money and the permits for construction are there, things can't get built because there's a 2-year waiting list for a power plug.
I mean, I definitely believe that there's like bureaucracy nightmares in the Netherlands. I believe that. There's a lot of European nations where that's the case. There's that thing in Germany where if you make a contract in Germany, you are required to sit down and have a government notary read it out loud, the entire contract. Like if you... Yeah, you have to get you have to get a government notary read the thing in front of both parties. And it's like expensive and slow. It's wild. Like there's some of this that's just stupid. They should just modernize it.
The Netherlands also suffers from a lack of space in the air. In most of Europe, the gas gets spread out. But in the Netherlands, it's a literal Dutch oven. There's too many cows, factories, and cars in a tiny space.
Nice.
So pollution builds up, and it has nowhere to go.
Wait, so you're just trapped in with cow farts? In America, we spread out our enormous amount of cow farts. I feel like they should not do cows. Cows in that small of a country is crazy. I wouldn't call any of this a dystopia, by the way. Once I saw their debt to GDP, I'm not super convinced in this video. I mean, I agree these are all problems. These are problems in many countries in developed Western Europe. These are problems of like aging society, bureaucracy, they're a bit behind on tech, and the huge rise of China as a manufacturing competitor because they've been kind of untouched in all these high-end areas for a long time. These are all real threats to Europe 100%, but I wouldn't like dystopias pushing it.
The classic way to increase productivity is through education. Despite the Netherlands being a well-educated country, Dutch school performance has been dipping for years.
Maar als we kijken naar de prestaties
in het onderwijs,
die dalen al 20 jaar. We zitten onder het gemiddelde van de OESO.
Oh, they're below the OECD average? That's actually pretty terrible. I work at ASML in the US, and the Dutch guys laugh at us all the time when they visit. My 2-week vacation was laughed at. This is so relatable. When I worked at NVIDIA, you know, I was the global marketing lead, so I had to do my calls with Europe and Asia. And the European team, bro, it's like I couldn't even get a hold of them. They had so many bank holidays. So many holidays, so many bank holidays. And then like August, they just take off. I swear to God. And it's like, bro, we're about to launch a GPU. Are you even at the office? And then you email them and it's like, I'm out on, it's like you always get an autoresponder. And the autoresponder would be different every time, which means they're spending more time setting up the fucking autoresponder than they are responding. It's crazy. It was crazy, bro. It's actually frustrating to work with at times. I mean, it's you know, they're enjoying life. I'm not mad about it, especially now that I try to do that myself. But I remember I'd get mad because we had to we launched something. We had a big thing at Gamescom, which is in Germany. So I had to fly out to Germany with my team and we were like crunching. We were like trying to like get all the emails and the social and the newsletter and the website and the partners. And we were like crunching. We're like no sleep, mostly in the hotel room on laptops grinding. And the European guys were drinking. They're like drinking. They're like, they didn't do shit, bro. They were just drinking non-stop at Gamescom. They would like stumble in and it's like, bro, we got to finish this. But you know what? They're not going to regret at the end of their life.
Luckily, in his report, Vennick at least offers some ideas to break the stagnation.
Well, that's the Carney idea, right? They just have to build the trade blocks outside of the US and China.
He wants to build a 22.5 billion euro AI gigafactory. He wants to sell state-owned enterprises so the Netherlands can make drones, launch its own satellite fleet, power its ships with new.
It's honestly a super good idea. Somebody in Europe, some country in Europe needs to go all in on being the DJI of the West, because it's unsustainable to have all of the drone tech made in China. And drones are so important for the future of warfare. Everything you read about modern warfare, I'm not talking about Call of Duty, drones are insane. They break all the previous rules. They're so important. If Ukraine ever ends the war, they could do it. It would actually be a huge part of their rebuilding if they did it. But understanding of drone tech, people are probably going to import Ukrainian experts to whatever European country does this, and they're going to try to build modern drone tech and get a sustainable ecosystem for that. Because the demand for it is off the charts. And right now it's made in China, like all of it. They're already doing that now? Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not the first person to say this. People are trying to do this and say this in the video. But like whatever country masters that is going to have an actual sustainable growth industry, because it's not something where even if China outcompetes you, people can't buy from them. You have a natural monopoly of outside of China. It doesn't matter if they match China's cheapness, because people will not be able to buy from China. Like there will be government mandates that will not allow you to have that in your supply chain. What if I import Chinese drones and sell them as European drones? Honestly, a brilliant idea. If you get caught, you're probably charged with treason or something. You go to jail. But if not, if you just find a way to undercover import a bunch of Chinese drones, why not just open up to China? It's better than the US. Literally, there's no house in the drone that China ever had. The actual reason is that because Europe was a mostly manufacturing exporter and America was an importer, it was beneficial. You could make things and sell them to America, get money and do that. But because China doesn't want to buy anything from Europe, they're buying less and less, and they're exporting more and more of the same things. Opening up to China just means your entire manufacturing base gets crippled. That's what's that's the point. That's the scary part, is all the jobs just leave Europe. Like China's even buying the luxury brands anymore. All the luxury, there's a rise of Chinese-made luxury that's starting to outcompete, the Louis Vuittons and the LVMHs. It's like there's no benefit to you. You can get the goods from them, I guess, but there's no German car. Like that's the idea. So they're cooking. I'm not, China's doing what they have to do, but that's the reason why, as Europe, you would want to make your own drone company. But like, yeah, solar panels imported, yeah. Get rid of the tariff. Like, unless you think you can really, like, you should pick and choose. It should be strategically important. I think if China's going to make something good quality and cheap, just buy it and then build something using the downstream industry of that. NVIDIA manufactures everything, you focus on design. You can do this in a world that is entirely conflict-free with open global trade. In a multipolar world where different nations have different goals and may have conflict or throw up trade barriers, or then having your own supply chain is like incredibly important. That's like incredibly important. And that's what's happening. It's basically impossible in the US because as wages go up, people don't want to work in manufacturing. I think this is not necessarily true. The wages have been going up in China for a while now. Like they're no longer cost benefit. It's no longer like extra cheap to hire employees in China and build things, but they still do it there because the expertise and the logistics. What we need to do is like really focus on building like excellent ports, excellent railroads, excellent delivery, excellent education, excellent. Once you have that stuff, it becomes beneficial to build something there regardless. What if there's certain countries that will just give up and open up to China 100% to get cheap quality goods? This has already happened. This is like tons of countries are doing that. Countries in Africa are doing this, but like South America, there's like a lot of South countries that are just like, Brazil is a big example where they're just like, we're going to buy everything. But these are countries that mostly make their money off like natural resources, which is what you kind of don't want to be. A country that just like digs shit out of the ground, sells it, and then gets goods from China is like fine, I guess. That's not like it's not like, you're not in a good position. So what you really want is to be like high-end, top of the value chain manufacturing. Who will provide raw materials then? I'm not saying it's not going to happen. It's going to happen. I'm saying if you have to choose as a leader, you don't want to be one of those countries. You want to diversify. You want to have the highest end you can. If you want more evidence the economy's messed up, I work in the mortgage industry and the stuff going on is so bad. Dude, everything. Every industry that has anything debt-based is just in a total extend and pretend mode. They're just doing so many tricks and things to avoid pain, to hope everything bounces back. everything. I don't care if it's Klarna, just buy now, pay later in general, or auto, or mortgage, or private equity, or private credit. It's all different, creative, extend and pretend ways of avoiding the write-downs and the pain.